Hello, and welcome back to my full playthrough of Oathsworn into the Deepwood. And hey, would you look at that? Today marks the 7th straight day of me actually posting videos. It's like I'm actually taking this somewhat seriously now. Anyway, we have just found the wire road into Verum.
Get on with it. Yes, get on with
Something. And we are going to find the city after battling savages and getting lost in the Deepwood. So, let's see Chapter 5, Homecoming. That was a Spider-Man movie, huh?
Hunger and cold gnaw at you and the remaining survivors from Bastogne. The constant rain has not helped, and the column slogs along behind you in thick trails of mud. The retreat from Bastogne has not been easy. A week of keeping these people alive with one hand on the wire road has been exhausting. Rations are now reduced to stale crumbs. Bandages are all used and morale is frayed. Yesterday, several refugees gave in to the horror and simply ran into the woods to embrace the inevitable. It was swift, which is what they wanted. In the back of your mind, all you noticed was less mouths to feed. As you force yourself and those in your charge forward into the woods, you see a shift in the colours ahead. Not green after green. Something stark. Walls.
Instructions. Open mystery envelope B and places contents. Okay, that's just going to be the map. So, continue.
The trees thin, not by nature, but by hatchet and axe. The Deepwood is fought here in a battle for sanity. Pulling from the tree line, you see the mighty walls of Verum. You glance back behind you into the woods. The line you lead is long and weak. The trees are swaying in a disconcerting manner, as if trying to keep you in. You urge the broken people forward. They cheer as they see the walls. Cries of thanks and sobbing break out at the sight of them. Some 60 feet high and bristling with spikes at the base, the walls stand vigil against all that would threaten the city. Framed in the light of the rising sun, you can make out patrols of heavily armed guards walking the parapets and watchmen on the walls. Massive gates rise high in their midst, and the great iron bull of Verum glares at you from atop the gate's towers. As you approach, still 30 paces away, a horn sounds through the air, causing all to look up and halt. Atop the walls above the gate, a dozen guards part and make way for a man with a gleaming helmet, topped with a feathered blue plume. He strides forward and extends a warning arm to your company. Bastogne has fallen. We are all that is left. Open the gates, you call. What in the name of the One is this? He shouts, ignoring the fact that you have spoken at all, gesturing to the refugees behind you. You expect to be allowed anywhere near the walls of Verum? These gates do not open for mobs that emerge from the Deepwood.
I mean, to be fair, we just killed a whole mob from the Deepwood, so he has a point. We are given 3 choices. Show him the oath marks on your arms. Tell him you have civilians and children with you, sick and wounded. Or tell him you have something to trade for entrance. We're going to show him the oath marks on his arms because I don't think he's going to give 2 shit about our civilians. And I don't want to trade anything for entrance.
You roll up your sleeves and step forward.
Instructions. We have to do a test, don't we? Perform a threatening check. How are we threatening him? We're just saying, hey, we're Oathsworn. Let's do a difficulty 6 test. Oh, Lord. We're going to have to roll like 4 dice to even have a chance. Unless we crit, which I'm not banking on critting, so we just don't whiff, I guess. We crit. We are currently 1 short. Can we get it? Oh, just enough to threaten them and to let us in, I guess. Well, we'll see if they let us in. Am I just like, oh, you threatening me? Boom, headshot. More instructions. All Oathsworn gain a redraw token. Thank you.
The captain is a hard man, but not without sense. Considering your words, he nods and signals the gatekeepers, waving a blue cloth. Even from this distance, you can hear the turning of great gears as the weights shift. Move forward, fast and steady, he commands. Screams from the rear of the line reach your group as you usher everyone toward the gate. I knew it, the captain swears. Close the gate! Close the gate! They've awakened the Deepwood! You turn and see people in the tree line being thrown. Petitions from the refugees rise to a loud crescendo. We cannot risk a breach, the captain retaliates. You've brought danger to this city, and it is my job to protect it, not you. You turn, draw your weapons, and head to the back of the line.
Oh shit, here we go again. Instructions. Perform a round of combat against Defense 6. Son of a... let me figure out how to do a round of combat again, because Lord knows I can't remember anything. Okay, I just rolled dice equal to the might track. If I meet or exceed, I succeed. If I don't, I fail and take a point of damage. Let's heal everybody back up first, huh? Before I forget. We don't want to start with any more damage than we absolutely have to. So, Kerr's gonna draw 2 yellows. And a white, I guess. Can Kerr get a 6? No, he cannot. So Kerr takes a point of damage. That's probably fine. Kerr likes to stay in the back. Chuck Norris will take a red and 2 whites. A complete whiff from Chuck Norris. Or Warbear. He's going to rush to the front with his mighty claws. Charge whatever beast is attacking us. And... he's going to miss. And then it was down to Mimatare. Will anyone in my party pass a difficulty 6 dex? Probably not. Nope, but he didn't miss. He just didn't do enough to prevent the damage. So Mimatare actually does like 3 points of damage, but still not enough to save him from damage. Anyway.
Fiends of flesh and fur claw at the ragged line of survivors. People are dragged into the trees to never be seen again, and you know it will not take long now that the Deepwood has woken. Between cleaving arcs of your weapons, you look back at the gates. There is no hope for them opening if they fear a breach, even for Oathsworn. You spy the guard captain atop the walls, staring defiantly at the refugees. He looks over his shoulder for a moment and draws back, bowing fearfully. In his place glides the unmistakable form of one of the watchers, draped in black robes and a heavy, weighted cowl. You cannot see its face beneath the hood, but you can feel its gaze upon you. It continues considering, and, after a moment, raises its raven-headed staff. The gates begin to grind open. The captain of the guard rushes to set warriors at the opening, and you bellow for the survivors to run for the gates. With your backs to the city at the rear of the line, you stand as a shield for the survivors, and as the last few step through, you bolt for the opening.
Instructions. Please don't add difficulty 6 test. All Oathsworn perform a survival check difficulty 3. Okay, maybe one can do this. We either if all succeed or if any fail. Okay. So let's roll 3 white dice for everybody. Hopefully starting with Kerr. Kerr succeeds. Then the great Chuck Norris. Chuck Norris also succeeds. Then the mighty Warbear. Warbear failed. And Mimatare, I know it's all or nothing, but just in case it checks, Imitate. So only the war bear failed. Let's see what that happens to us. Instructions. For those that failed, as you turn, you are struck by one of the beasts and lose 1 hit point. Yep, so only the war bear loses a hit point. He is down to 4 to start off combat. That's not going to be fun.
As you break from the trees, archers fire down into the masses of flesh that chase you. You fling yourselves through the gate just in time as it clamps shut. Beyond the wall, bestial howls rise in frustration. Covered in rain, sweat and blood, you gaze around at the survivors. A cheer goes up. They clasp hands to your shoulders, crying and thanking you. Everyone knows who saved them. Officials come from the gate offices with sticks and tallying boards to check the survivors' condition and to make sure they brought none of the Deepwood in with them. After a time, the survivors begin to disperse into the city, but not before they gather up iron from amongst them as a reward.
Instructions. All Oathsworn gain 1 iron each for every refugee, location tokens and type tokens a free company has. If you have 4 more refugees, also gain a free company trait. Oh, I don't have 5. Lose all refugees and rations. Place all location and time tokens back in the supply and relation rations from the free company sheet. How many do we have? We were at 4. We were 1 away. We do gain 12 No, we gain 16 iron. That seems like a lot. We are currently sitting at 40 iron. Not bad. Not bad at all.
The captain from the wall approaches. He removes his helm. It wants to see you. Follow me. He leads you through the swarms of people and up a stairway that clings to the side of the outer walls of Verum. He stops at the top and points, unwilling to go any further. It is unclear if it is shadows that hide the watcher's visage, or if its very face is made of them. It walks slowly to the edge of the wall and looks at the new crowd you have brought with you. Report. A rasping voice commands from within the cowl. It listens as you detail the fall of Bastone, the keening cry of the witch, and the trials of the Deepwood. Although its robes pulse and flow with the wind, it seems not to move nor react to any of your tales of woe. Leave me, it says finally. You all too gladly retreat from it. There are many unnerving things in the world, but the Watchers really set your teeth on edge. In the weeks that follow, you acclimatize to civilization. Not long after the events at the gate, a runner brings you an envelope. Opening it, you find a note in fine script. In acknowledgement of your great service to the crown and the fallen city of Bastone, and on the authority of His Royal Highness King Fabian, you are given deed of title to the following property: 1 tavern of Tonsin Lane, Old Town.
Holy hell, we got a house.
Needs a tad of cleaning, but nothing these old hands can't fix, Bram says as he rolls up his sleeves and enters the abandoned tavern behind you. It's a fine hall, Midge nods, bounding in and surveying the surroundings. I would reckon you hang trophies over there, eh? Maybe a nice table by the fire to play some pyramids and such. You can make this place quite the centre of town with my help. I do feel, Grey Cane adds as he gently shoulders by you, the addition of a few serving girls might brighten the place a bit. With your friends suddenly moving old furniture and fueling the fires with their imagination, you realise that they actually might be right. Our lady is back. Bless her. She's back, Bram says with a tear in his eye. Who? Asks Midge. Bram turns to the lad with a faint smile on his face. The Broken Oak.
Instructions. Gain a free company trait. Mark this on your free company sheet. Place token location 7 and go there. Let's see which one I want to get, shall we? Let's see, we got Scavenger and Field Medic. Gain 2 characters during encounter setup. When Oathsworn may choose to roll and use hit point dice. Whoever rolls highest regains 1 hit point. Your backpack can hold 20, which might be nice because we just ran out. Yeah, I'm going to go with the endurance. My backpack can hold 20 items. Seems fun. Place location marker 7, which is the Broken Oak. Hey, that's our new place, and go there. Also, going to 3 did not take a time slot, so this is going to be a little wrong for the scripting. Anyway.
Needs a tad of cleaning,
God
but
damn it, shut up,
nothing these old hands can't fix. The new Broken Oak smells of wood, ale, and sweat, just as any tavern should. It has taken weeks of Bram commanding a team of men paid in food, Greycane gathering people to lend a hand, and Midge taking credit for everything else. The people of Bastone come to offer thanks and share a simple meal of root and potato porridge. They are settling into Verum and come to you sharing stories of their new homes. They speak of the overwhelming hugeness of it, of their new jobs, new lives, and the strange plant-like adendri living in the green streets, and even of the strange sickness being found in the cobbles. The oak becomes a gathering place for the remnants of Bastone. Without meaning to, you gain a band of regulars more than happy to raise a mug in your honour and tell of the comings and goings of the city. For a time, all is well, and you can forget the nightmares of the fall of Bastone.
Instructions. All Oathsworn return all injury cards to injury deck and reshuffle the injury deck. Yay! Mimatade is fully healed from his PTSD. All he needed was a good drink. Isn't that how PTSD always works?
Days later, you descend the main stairs to the Hunter's Hall. Arrayed before you is a comfortable scene of patrons and allies dotted about the room. At the bar, Greycane takes a sip from a mug and coughs, spluttering. 7 healths! What's that? Across the bar, Bram furrows his eyebrows. Did you decant this from an Ursus's chamber pot? Greycane continues. It's not that bad. I rather like it, Molly, one of the serving girls, says, smiling encouragingly at Bram. Don't encourage him, Molly, or he might make another one and finish me off, Greycane replies. Taking a swig himself, Bram says, Well, it needs a little something. I'll get it right. It just needs some experimentation. Greycane looks over his shoulder, noticing you. Hi, good morning. Some news came earlier. Looks like there's a contract. There's time enough for that, though. I know some of the others want to talk to you.
Okay, we can talk to each ally once. Lysine, Cedric, the Mute Boy, Celeste.
The Mute Boy from Bastone and Midge.
I did not mean to click that. Celeste, Dane, and Steet. I don't have all of those, but we will. We do have Lysine. She is a cutie. So let's go to Lysine first.
Lysine beckons you over to a table, where she cuts some fresh herbs. You've seen what I am, and still you let me stay here. Thank you. Lysine speaks slowly. I wanted to repay you. There was space enough for a herb garden on the roof, so I've begun planting. I have some amber, so the plants will grow shortly. I'll be able to tend your wounds and do a service to the city.
Oh, thank you, Lysine. Next is Cedric, which I don't believe we have. Nope. No Mute Boy. No Celeste. We missed out on a bunch of people, huh? And no Dane. And no Steet. Okay, that is it. Let's keep going.
You walk up to Greycane at the bar. He starts. A few days back, a group went deepside. A free company and 40 loggers went to gather lumber. Only 2 returned. Lord Reiner, Bit of an ass, if you ask me, needs the wood still. He asked for you personally. He wants the heroes of Bastogne to look into it and keep the new boys safe. Word of your exploits has gotten around, and the moniker has followed you these last weeks. It seems the city criers have been ordered to expound and embellish your company's exploits to keep men's minds away from the loss of one of the great cities. This forced a notoriety upon you, whether you wanted it or not. I know setting up the Broken Oak has taken up a lot of your iron recently, Grey King continues. And though Reiner may not be bright, he is rich. I suggest you see what the good man has to say about the situation. You agree you need a contract more than just the iron. You need the practice. Comfort can kill a free company.
Instructions. Place location token 14 and go there. Okie dokie.
You walk up to Grey
Shut up.
King at the bar. He starts. You make your way toward the noble quarter to meet Lord Reiner. Inevitably, you come to one of the old stone bridges that spans the River Seine, or at least what's left of it. Many years ago, the Deepwood sucked dry the river, and now the gutters take its place. Thousands of Verum's poorest huddle there in shacks clustered in the mud of the riverbed, in the shadow of once great ships, forever moored in the mire. "Smoke from flesh, you saw it," snaps a man as he leaps from a spot by the bridge. He is wearing a selection of rags and rats that would make a rat catcher jealous. Doomsayers aren't uncommon in Verum. It's fairly easy to be right regarding predictions of death and destruction with the Deepwood at the gates. You try to dismiss the man, but then he pipes up. "And running from the moor, it chases you through the walls until over your shoulder a city falls." That part of your tale was not common knowledge. "Who are you?" you ask. Unevenly, the crazed man scampers up to you, his face a mask of grime and wiry beard, his age unknowable under the muck of the gutter. He makes a sign of Pot's peace and bites his thumb. "Herald!" "Herald what?" "I prefer the young and old, the wet, the dry, the hot, the cold, rarely sought, though often found. I visit all above the ground." There is something about the look behind his eyes. He knows more than he should about you, and he knows something else he seems to want to tell you.
Instructions. 2 paths lay before you. The herald is speaking a riddle. If you wish, you can try to decipher it, or you can make your meaning with Lord Reiner. You will not have time to do both.
You make your way.
Set up. I prefer the young and old, the wet, the dry, the hot, the cold. Rarely sought, though often found. I visit all above the ground. That sounds like death. So, you know what? I'm going to try to decipher the riddle. Write down what you think the correct answer is. I'm going to say death. If your answer to the herald's riddle was death, which it was, nailed it. Instructions. All Oathsworn get a battle flow token. Neat.
A gap-toothed grin stretches the herald's face. "Death, yes, death is the answer, and life is the question. Are you them? No matter. Time or death or both will tell as they always do. I've forgotten the answer. I was so much older then." He looks quickly to the side, as if there was a loud noise. Following his glance, there is nothing there. I know, but I know not where. I say I do, but I don't. Time to go. Verum is vast, and the memories so many. Lead on." "Where to?" you ask. The man calling himself the herald gives you a quizzical look, as if you should know this part already. "Neither here nor near, in shell of shell, no green hand here does dwell. Blood trickles out amongst the stones, seeping still from piles of bones." For all his ramblings, the herald seems to want to show you something important.
Instructions. Find the location on the map the herald is talking about. Take the path 8 cord. Place location tokens. Oh, Lord. 2. 3. Oh, Lord. I already did 3 because of the thing. 3. Let's see, 2 is the cobbles, 3 is the king gate, 4 is Green Street, 6 is the apothecary, 9 is the tavern, 12 is the barracks, 13 is the market, 15 is church, and 19 is the banksmith. Okay.
A gap too.
Neither here nor near in shell of shell, no green hand here does dwell. Blood trickles out amongst the stone, seeping still from piles of bone. I don't know. I'll tell you the first thing we're going to do. We're going to go to the banksmith and get some cool loot and sell some of our gear. So, banksmith, 19. However, that does cover over the third slot, which is automatic city event. So, let's see what we get. 1, 2, 3. City event. A traveling merchant offers to sell you a treasure map. He says he picked it up from the last surviving member of a free company and was told they hid a great wealth of items in the Deepwood, but none have ever been able to retrieve the riches. Do you A, attempt to haggle for the map, turn quote over, or B, refuse the map and archive this event? I want the map. Seems cool. I will attempt to haggle. A. Perform a boarding check, difficulty 6. Ew. We're not going to... Well, we might. Let's do 4. We'll let the bear border. At least we're going to say we're letting the bear border because he is scary. Come on, 6. That's terrible. If you succeed, nope. If you fail, he wants 6 for the map. Fine. We just got a whole bunch. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. 6 for the map. Then, if you buy the map, put Deepwood Event 20 into your Deepwood Event deck. This doesn't say archive. So, it still gets shuffled back in. Okay, so Deepwood Event 20. And then 19 at the banksmith.
Iron smells like dirt, the herald snorts as you approach the leading banksmith in the area. It is an impressive shop, with many assistants forging iron into ingots and wares amongst the pounding on half a dozen anvils.
And smells of burning meat,
The herald continues.
I never had enough iron in my fist to come here, and yet here we are. I do not know why.
Instructions. You may start a trade with the banksmith.
Iron?
Okay, let's see what you have, Mr. Banksmith. Anything we want? We have Firewater. If you have not moved yet this turn, gain a power ×3 on an attack. Amber, Battle Flow 1 card. Broadsword, after damage drawn against you, gain 1 against that damage. Doesn't... It's the same thing Mimatare has, except it's more expensive. That, no. Don't want that. Ooh, a bow. 2 yellows, range 5, instead of the archer's 1 red, range 4. A hatchet. When you're critical to an attack, the old additional 1. Quarterstaff. Shield. We have some armor. There's some armor. Another dagger. Bacon. If you have 4 or less when you use an ability card for its defense, treat that card as having 0. Okay, and more. Okay, so I have decided to sell my Twilight's Edge, a short bow, stitch hide garments, Gamel's gavel, padded flak jacket, and walking stick, which gives me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 gold. So we are back up to 40. However, we're also going to spend a lot of this to get the threaded wooden garments, a pillium, and a longbow. So that will be, they all cost 5, so that's 15. We're out. So that's 5, 10, 15. Down at 25 gold. Okay. The pillium, or however you pronounce this, will go to Mimatare to replace his falchion, which we're going to keep in storage for now. The longbow will go to Chuck Norris, and the reflex bow will go into storage for now. As well as the threaded wooden garment will go to Chuck Norris, with the worm hide going back into storage. And now we have to think of a place to go to. And we need to do it in 2 turns if we want to gain a Empower times 3 tokens. And we need to do it in 5 turns if we want to get an extra unique item. I definitely want that unique item. I'm going to say, let's go to church, shall we?
This church must have been the first building here. The stones are crumbling or replaced with others of different colours and qualities. What was once magnificent displays of stained glass are now patched with wooden boards and cloth. People stream in the front door. Here they get a watery, warm stew of potato and salt. A young, frail girl without shoes pushes fearlessly past you and hurries to the church steps.
Her name is Anya, the herald explains. I don't think we've met and should not. Let us go.
Okay, the church was a bus, but a place where blood seeps to the stone? Maybe location 12, the barracks?
A small fortress of thick stone walls, looking almost like a miniature version of Bastogne, squats here. The people give it a wide berth. Guards in brown and deep blue file in and out, changing shifts and reporting disturbances. Several flank the doorway, holding large, cruel billhooks, which would be difficult to wield in battle, but serve the purpose of intimidating the crowds.
See, this place is safe enough already. Why come here?
The herald asks.
Well, you're here. Why not just tell me? Okay, if we're looking for places that aren't safe, it's probably along the gate. So our 3 choices are going to be either the Cobbles, the King's Gate, or Green Street. Cobbles does not sound good, so we're going to go to location 2, the Cobbles.
A thick malaise shrouds the cobbles. The sound of the rest of the city seem dampened and distant, as if the air is bloated with pestilence. Word of the sickness has reached you through Greycane, but you couldn't imagine it had spread so fast. Not everyone is affected, of course, but so many of the faces you see in the doorways and windows carry grief, and wet coughs break the clawing silence. You each pull out cloths and fashion makeshift masks to breathe through. The herald signals you to follow. Several streets later, you ask him what he is looking for.
The more you take from it, the bigger it gets,
he mutters, searching the walls.
Enough of these riddles. I have enough of them from playing the room. Instructions. Write down what you think the answer to the latest riddle is. The more you take, the bigger it gets. The more you take, the bigger I get. And we're by the wall. A hole? Oh, Lord, there's a hole in the wall, isn't there? I'm going to go hole. If you answered a hole, hey, I'm good at riddles.
Ducking through the hole reveals a small courtyard beyond, shouldered between these 3 neighbouring tenements. Lining the area are small mounds of bodies in various states of decay.
The dead.
The herald says simply as he emerges through the hole. From the position and broken nature of the bodies, you can see many have been dropped here from the tenement windows high above. casualties of the cobble's curse. Your brows furrow. Has this all been a waste of time? A madman's search for plague bodies? They should be burned, of course, but this is barely something the watch would care about, let alone a free company. You turn to the herald. As if reading your mind, he points a finger to one of the piles. There, you catch sight of something moving. You draw your weapons and approach with caution. It bursts from the pile.
Instructions. All Oathsworn perform a survival check difficulty 6. If any succeed or if all fail. Oh, Lord. I am not going to succeed. Well, trying for 4 again, starting with Mimatade. That's a fail. Then Bear. That's a fail. He doesn't have a redraw. He does have a redraw. Let's see if these two... if the 2 crits explode into anything. 1, so he would only need to reroll a 1. Well, let's see if anybody else succeeds first, since we probably should be, in real life, be doing these at the same time. This will be for Ranger. Oh, that's a huge success, so we're not going to use a redraw token from Bear. And then Kerr, in case we need to check. So Kerr and Ranger both succeed, everybody else fails.
Your hand shoots out and catches the flying maggot in midair, just before it plunges into your ally's face. Some 2 feet long with gaping mandibles, it wriggles violently in your grip, screeching. Tensing, you crush the life from the grub, and its wings stop buzzing.
Ew. Instructions. Each Oathsworn that succeeded in the check gains a redraw token. Okay. Good thing I didn't waste a redraw with Bear to get another redraw token.
You know what this is.
You overestimate what I know by a lot. Instructions. Reveal the encounter special rules card and mark the special rules box for Chapter 5 on your free company sheet. Cool. Let's see what we get, eh? We get special rules. And number 5. Let's do the setup. Oh, that's a chunky boy. Do we have to have a bunch of randos on the map every single time? I don't even see the big bad bloatfly. Does he not even start on the board? Anyway, special rules. Bloatfly, 4 defense, a red and 4 blacks. No. Opposite Mima, a black and 4 reds. Large infest. The bloatfly moves to the nearest uninfested civilian and infests them. While moving to infest a character, the bloatfly may move any distance. If there are no uninfested civilians, the bloatfly will move to the closest uninfested Oathsworn ally, if any, and infest them. Place a mite cube of any color at the base of the character to show they are infested. Parasites emerge. Each infested character, ones with cubes on their base, loses 1 hit point. If a civilian dies to the parasite, they will explode, causing the bloatfly's might and damage against all adjacent enemies. Draw once and apply to all targets. Remove the civilian from the board and place a flying maggot in the hex where they were. You may kill civilians, which will stop them from dying from a parasite. Civilian will die if they are hit by an attack or lose any amount of hit points. Save the civilians. Civilians can be protected by moving them. Yeah. If you move an infested civilian off the board, place a flying maggot on the board in the hex the civilian left from. And we have maggots. A defense 6? God damn. Minion mob hits with a black and a yellow. Move unlimited range to its targets. Attack has only 1 hit point. Flying maggots are immune to all bloatfly effects unless specified. Ew, and it's a mob enemy. Okay. This is going to be a fun one.
It may be the source of the plague. Bloatflies have been known to enter cities in search of easy prey, flying over the walls by night to catch the unwary. What you caught was only its larvae, laid in the bodies to gorge until grown enough to leave the nest. Bloatflies do not travel far from a good food source, no doubt retreating to the woods by day and returning at night. There is no specific contract for this beast, but the pact leaves a standing writ of reward for all beasts' heads that can be proven to threaten a city.
We are a good group of adventurers, so instead of taking this on for the money, we will take this on for the people of the city and try to get the money later.
The wet coughing from inside a nearby tenement makes up your mind. Resolved, you head for the King's Gate.
Instructions. You may start a trade with the banksmith and or the apothecary. If you decide to visit them, it will cost you time. Okay. I was about to say, if it did not cost me time, I would have been annoyed that I did a trade with the banksmith earlier. Anyway, we went to the banksmith already. I don't think we need anything from the apothecarian, so we will trade with neither.
You raise your oath marks as you approach the impenetrable gate of the city. A guardsman tolls a bell 3 times, and the gate grumbles open, just wide enough for you to pass. The guards at the outside post watch as you gird yourselves for travel into the tree line. Marking your compass, you head off to the northwest. As the gate closes, the herald scrambles through to join you.
Instructions. All Oathsworn gain a redraw token. You may let the herald join your party. If you do, gain Allied Card 14, the herald. Add Deepwood Event Card 29 to your Deepwood Event deck, and City Event Card 26 to your City deck. As always, the more the merrier, so we're going to let him come with us. Alright, here's the herald. He is a combat ally with three defense, a black dice, and prophecy. Once per encounter, a friendly character within range 3 gains a redraw token. Also, the bloatfly, for whatever reason, spawned over here, and look at this fucking thing. That's a Nurgle Poxwalker, come on. Anyway,
You are barely into the trees when you hear shouting. Bloatflies are not known for travelling great distances, so it is no surprise to find it so close to the city as it swoops down into the middle of a company of loggers whose hatchets and axes are swung too slowly as it zips through them. It is a grotesque scene as the abomination plunges its sting deep into a man's gut. His body begins to swell and distort as he writhes in agony, lifted from the ground as the bloatfly hovers on massive translucent wings. The insectile head flits to your free company, and you see nothing at all in those cold, faceted eyes. Not waiting to find out what happens next, you charge the gargantuan insect.
instructions. If you have mystery chests, proceed to Chapter 5 in the Encounter book. And encounter the blowfly. After the encounter, continue to the epilogue. Okay, well, let's check the log first to see where the hell this bloatfly is supposed to spawn. All the way in the back. Don't know why the thing didn't do it, but it's right there. Ooh, that's an ugly thing. Okay. And we will all be able to start on this little line right here. Okay. However, until next time, 3 only has 5 hit dice though, so that's something. But again, we have to get through 4 defense and 6 defense on the little buggers. I'm going to be killing a whole mess of civilian to keep those things from spawning in, because I don't want to deal with 6 defense minions. Anyway, until next time when I fight the bloatfly, take care.